What's going on, y'all? It's your boy TJ, and I'm back with another video. For today's video, I'll be talking about ESPN's pound for pound list. Okay, and like I always say, without further ado, y'all, I'm gonna just jump right into this one, y'all. All right, now ESPN's pound for pound list. All right, came out a few days ago, and 22 panelists came together to form this list. Okay, they picked 10 fighters to put on their pound for pound list who they thought was the best today in boxing. And it is what it is. A lot of people were kind of upset about the list. Okay, and I can't really blame them. All right, now I want you to keep in mind though, all of that is opinionated. Okay, all those fighters that were put on that list are opinionated, because a lot of people were saying these fighters that got left out, or how could you put this fighter on this list and he was really doing that and this and that. And like I said, it is what it is. So what I did for y'all is, all right, I'm gonna pretty much go down their list and tell y'all my thoughts and opinions on their list, and then I created a pound for pound list of my own that I will share with y'all, and I can kind of compare it a little bit to theirs. All right, so without further ado, all right, the first fighter, should I say, that was on ESPN's pound for pound list was Terence Crawford. Okay, now I like Terence Crawford a lot. All right, I think he's a really, really great fighter. Now, I'm not sure if I would have put him at number one, but like I said, this is their list. All right, now there's probably a few fighters that I would probably put before him, but it is what it is. Terence Crawford is a very, very great fighter. Okay, 38-0, so I really can't argue with that one too much. Now the second fighter was kind of a shocker to me in a way. I'm not surprised that he made the list, because like I said, he deserves to make this list. All right, he's a very great fighter. Was Inoue. Okay, Naoya Inoue. Okay, now I don't think I would have put him at number two personally. Okay, I think there's a lot of other better fighters than Inoue. Okay, that I would have probably put above him. All right, now it is what it is. Okay, in my opinion, he would have probably I would have probably placed him a lot lower than two, maybe around like 9 or 10, but like I said, this is theirs. Number 3, Errol Spence Jr. Okay, now I like Errol Spence. All right, he's one of my favorite fighters. I love watching Errol Spence. All right, he's one of the best in the game right now. Okay, but number 3, I think he deserves, to be in top 2. I think he definitely deserves to be in top 2. Okay, like absolutely. What he's been doing, okay, how he's been fighting, it has been just absolutely amazing and spectacular to watch. Okay, and another thing I want y'all to keep in mind too as well is they didn't base this off of the fighters' records or anything like that. I feel like they based it off of who they felt was the better fighter, how much noise they're making in the sport of boxing, and how they're winning too as well. So I do want y'all to keep that in mind as well. Okay, at number 4, they picked Alexander Usyk. Okay, now I like Usyk. Usyk's pretty good. Okay, I know he just got another win a few nights ago versus Anthony Joshua. Congratulations to him. That was a very good win. So they decided to slide him up a couple of spots. Which is surprising to me though, that they have him sitting at number 4. Okay, it's a little bit of a surpriser to me, a little bit of a shocker to me. All right, because in my opinion too, there are fighters that are better than Usyk. Okay, but they have him in the top 5, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Okay, but I do like Usyk. Now, like I said, I don't know if I would have put him at 4. I'd probably put him, you know, a little lower, maybe around 6 or 7. All right, but it's not my list. Okay, now at number 5 they have Canelo Alvarez. Now, I like Canelo Alvarez. I like Alvarez a lot. Okay, he's one of my favorite fighters to watch as well. Now, I will say this about him. Okay, I'm actually kind of surprised and not surprised at the same time that he made this list. Okay, now the reason being, okay, is because Canelo does have 2 losses under his belt. Okay, he definitely has 2 losses under his belt. All right, it's nothing crazy or anything like that. But in my opinion, all right, the only fighters that are making my pound for pound list, like straight up, are all undefeated fighters. Okay, I'll take a draw maybe here and there, but all the fighters that I put on my pound for pound list are all undefeated. Like, nobody has a loss. All right, if you have a loss, you are not making my pound for pound list, like straight up. All right, so that was kind of a shocker, but not a shocker at the same time. Like I said, I like Canelo Alvarez. I think he's a great fighter. He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer one day. But I don't know if I would even put him at 5. All right, if he would have made it at that list, he would have probably been, you know, a bit lower than that. Okay, now they got 6. At 6, they got Tyson Fury. All right, now I was very, very shocked at this one. Okay, the reason why I was shocked is because Tyson Fury is one of the best fighters like ever. Okay, especially today, one of the best fighters. All right, and a lot of people came out and said, you know, they felt like he should have been number 1, and I'm not disagreeing about that. Okay, but my whole thing is I'm not understanding how they put Fury at 6 and they have Usyk at 4. Okay, and they got, you know, Alvarez before him. I feel like, if anything, if they felt that strong about it, you know, to really put him on a list like that, I feel like he should have been at number 4, and then Usyk should have been moved to maybe, you know, like 7 or something like that, you know. And that's in my opinion, though. All right, that's definitely in my opinion. I felt like what Tyson Fury's been doing, okay, he should have definitely been higher on this list, like a lot higher. All right, that's definitely in my opinion. If he wasn't at the number 1 spot, he should have like at least been 2. All right, definitely been in top 2, top 3. You know, that's in my opinion. With these fighters that they have chosen, yeah, I feel like he should have been a lot higher. Okay, I feel like he definitely should have been a lot higher. Okay, now at number 7, they have Artur Beterbiev. Okay, now I like Artur Beterbiev. All right, I think he's a very good fighter, very, very solid fighter. All right, and I think at number 7, I ain't gonna argue with him at number 7. All right, he deserves that 7th spot. All right, so we're gonna keep him there. And then at number 8, they have Demetri Bibble. All right, Demetri Bibble is a very good fighter as well. I like him too, and I'd agree with him at number 8. All right, I'm not going to sit here and disagree with those 2 spots right there. All right, and now here's where I got a little upset too as well. All right, now I could see, you know, the frustration a little bit about this list. Okay, I definitely could. Now they have Lomanchinko at number 9, and then they have Shakur Stevenson at 10. Okay, now this was a shocker to me, like a pretty big shocker to me actually, because of the whole thing is that Lomanchinko has 2 losses under his belt. Okay, he has He's got 2 losses. All right, Shakur Stevenson is undefeated and one of the best and up-and-coming young fighters in boxing today. Okay, so I felt like Shakur Stevenson deserved that 9 spot, and then Lomanchinko probably deserved that 10 spot. Okay, and in my opinion, like I told y'all before, I ain't putting nobody that got losses under their belt on the list. All right, so I probably wouldn't even like if I was in that room with those panelists, he probably wouldn't have been on that list. I probably wouldn't have raised my hand for Lomanchinko. I like Lomanchinko a lot. I think he's one of the best fighters in the game today too as well. But to put him before Shakur Stevenson was messed up. All right, that was wrong for them to do that. All right, and like I said, that's not the only fighter that they had in that position though. They put a lot of other fighters, before other fighters that were better than some. So, but it is what it is. All right, like I said, all this is opinionated, and that is their list. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to my list, my pound for pound list that I had created. Okay, now the first person that I felt deserved the number 1 spot, okay, and I feel like rightfully so deserved the number 1 spot is Gervonta Davis. All right, now if y'all watched my last video, I pretty much talked a lot about on how I feel like this man is the face of boxing. Okay, like I said, I'm not, I'm going based off of, not just the record alone, okay? Because let's be real, all right? Some fighters may have a lot more fights and wins under their belt, but just because they have more fights and wins under their belt doesn't mean that they're a better fighter than, another fighter, okay? So that's just, that's in my opinion, all right? I'm doing it based off of a lot of things, how they're winning, how many wins, the popularity, and how much people like them, all of that stuff. I'm taking a lot of things into account. Okay, a lot of things into account. And also, who they fought to a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like Gervonta Davis deserved that number 1 spot. At number 2, I got Errol Spence Jr. All right. Errol Spence is one of the most dominant fighters in boxing today, period, hands down. All right. So I definitely think he deserved to be higher. Okay, definitely. And at number 3, I got Devin Haney. Now, this was someone who I felt was definitely left off their list. Okay, like I don't understand why he wasn't on ESPN's list. But like I said, like I keep saying before, all right, that was their list. That was their opinion. Okay. Devin Haney is one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. All right, he's one of the youngest champions, undisputed champions to ever step foot in the ring, and how he's doing it is amazing too. Like he's just beating dudes like off of the jab. Like that's it. Like that to me is absolutely amazing. Like he completely mastered it, and I like watching him a lot. Okay, I like watching Devin Haney a lot. Okay. At number 4, I got Terence Crawford. All right. Now, Terence Crawford on their list was at number 1. Okay, I had him at number 4. I felt like there's a few boxers obviously better than him. Okay, I felt like Devin Haney is a bit better. I felt like Errol Spence and Gervonta Davis is a bit better. Now, like I said before, okay, Terence Crawford has a lot more fights and wins under his belt than the first 3 fighters do. He's got 38 wins. All right, that's absolutely amazing. But like I said, I felt like those 3 fighters are just a bit better. They look a little bit better in my opinion, just a little bit. All right, so that's why I got him sitting at number 4. But he's still a great fighter. I ain't taking nothing away from that man. All right, at number 5, I got Tyson Fury. All right, Tyson Fury is also another one of my favorite fighters. Okay, he's exciting to watch, and I mean, Tyson Fury definitely deserves to be in top 5 on any list. Okay, I don't care who's making the list. All right, to put him below top 5 is, in my opinion, is absolutely absurd. All right, I don't care if he at number 6. He shouldn't be at number 6. Like, he should definitely be in top 5. All right, and I know what I had said before. Now, but here's the thing though about ESPN's list. ESPN picked completely different fighters than I did. Okay, there's a lot of different fighters that I got on this list that they don't have. So, it took a lot of time for me to break down these guys, really, measure them up to the par of what spots I think that they felt best in. So I felt like Tyson Fury deserved that number 5 spot. All right, here is another fighter that was left off their list that I felt like should have been on their list, and a lot of people also thought that should have been on ESPN's list as well. Okay, is Jamal Trillo. Jamal Trillo has been making a lot of noise too as well. Okay, definitely a lot of noise. Okay, he's got 32 wins and no losses under his belt. Okay, that's a lot of fights right there. All right, and he is definitely, I can say, a fan favorite. Like, definitely a fan favorite. Okay, not only in the ring but outside the ring, from what him and his brother say in the press conferences, and how they go about things. It's just, he's definitely a fan favorite. Okay, and he's one of the best fighters of today as well. Okay, now at number 7. Now here's the thing. All right, I had a little bit of trouble with deciding my 7 and 8 spot. Okay, there's 2 fighters that I was gonna put either at 7 and 8. All right, and ultimately it came down to just, I picked who was the more seasoned fighter. All right, and who had just a little bit more wins under their belt. All right, so at number 7, I went with Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis is another fan favorite. I love washing boots. Love washing them. Okay, he's one of the best in the game right now, and he's a young and upcoming fighter as well too. Like, he's definitely making a lot of noise. At number 8, I had Stevenson. Okay, so y'all can probably see why I had some trouble trying to figure out who's going to be in that 7, who's going to be in that 8 spot, because Stevenson is making a lot of noise as well. Okay, he's got really good defense. He's got a lot of power under him, and so does Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I felt like Jaron Ennis deserved to be just a little bit higher on there. Okay. Now, at the number 9 spot. Okay, this was a fighter that probably no one would have predicted would have been on the list, because he's kind of under the radar right now. But he's got a lot of wins under his belt, and I feel like he deserves, some respect on his name. Okay, which is Gilberto Ramirez. Okay, Gilberto Ramirez is an absolute monster. Okay, he's 44-0. Okay, that is an amazing record to have. All right, and for him not to be really talked about like that, I feel like is a little disrespectful. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I wasn't going based off who had the best record. Okay, because he's got more wins than anybody on this list. But like I said, just because that a fighter may have more wins under their belt doesn't mean that they're necessarily a better fighter. So, but I feel like he deserves somewhat of the fans' respect, and just the eyes of boxing's respect too. You know what I'm saying? Just period. I feel like he deserves a little bit of respect on his name, his record, and things like that. So that's why I got him sitting at number 9. Last but not least, at number 10, Ryan Garcia. All right. Now, this was a guy right here. All right, Garcia. He's a fan favorite. He's a young guy. Everybody obviously knows who he is. Okay, but when I had seen a lot of the comments and things that were left on ESPN's list, I was actually surprised nobody, really wanted him to be on that list. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody, like, mentioned him really like that to be on the list. Now, I know what everybody's probably thinking, like, he really hasn't fought too many really, really great fighters like that. And I agree, okay? Probably the best fighter that he's fought was Luke Campbell, okay? So, it is what it is. But the whole thing is, too, is he's an undefeated fighter. He's exciting to watch. He's young, and he's doing his thing, all right? So I'm gonna give him that much. All right. So I'm gonna put a little bit of respect on his name. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit of respect on his name. Now, do I feel like he's better than all 9 of the other fighters that I had just mentioned? Nah, I don't think he's better than any of those fighters that I had mentioned. Okay. And that's just my opinion. Okay. I know he's he's dominating the social media world and all that and stuff, and that's cool. That's cool. But like I said, it's not all about that. Like I said, it's about the record, popularity, how you're doing it, how you're winning your fights, all that stuff. Okay, all that stuff. So I felt like he deserved the number 10 spot. Okay, I feel like he deserved, like I said, a little bit of respect on his name. A little bit of respect on his name, because he is doing, a pretty good job in the ring. So, it is what it is. But that's unfortunately, all I have for today, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leave in the comments what you guys think of the whole situation, ESPN's list, and even what y'all think of my pound for pound list. Okay, I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on both lists, actually. Okay, is there somebody y'all thought should have been on either list, or is there somebody who you would put in there? Like, just leave in the comments below what you guys think. All right, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. All right, peace.